but let me get a voice check right now. Make sure everybody's on. Um, in order for you to hear, you would have to where's your headset?
Yeah, it did not work with this.
Oh, it doesn't work with
It
that?
only work with my other phone. That's why I'm using my other phone.
Oh man, that sucks. Okay, so then how are you gonna be able to listen then?
Let's talk one more time and I hear
Oh,
you.
okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so yeah, all right, so then. Piccolo, can I get a voice check? And Anna, let me get a voice check.
Check.
All right, that's good. Jagan.
What's up?
All right, cool. And Piccolo, who's muted. Why is he muted? I definitely on server muted him. Okay. So I think Piccolo's working on his mic. I'm talking to you, but you're muted. All right. Outside of that, welcome everybody to another discourse. This time, we'll try to keep this within the 1.5 hour mark. Notice I use the term "try to keep this in the one." Yeah, we're gonna have to try to keep this in the 1.5 hour mark. But we have a new topic today, and before anyone, I have to preface this because we have a lot of the, we have a lot of people who are extreme on both ends, left, right, up, down. It doesn't make a difference. This topic is to discuss the Vic Mahogany. Am I? How you pronounce his last name? I don't want to butcher the man's last name.
I don't even know.
Oh my goodness.
There's a silent G in there somewhere.
It's a silent G, so it's Mahogany or Mahogany. We'll just call
Something
him
like that.
Vic, the U.S. Broly. That's what I'll call him because I don't want to get the last name wrong. And we're going to talk about the accusations that's been made against him. And we're joined here with Empress now. She'll weigh in on it because she hears me talking about it in the background, and she says she wants to be on the discourse to find out what is it that the issue is, and so she'll also weigh in on the matter. But the entire purpose of this particular discourse is to talk about the situation objectively. We're not taking any sides. We're not taking any sides on Vic, and we're not taking any sides of the accuser. We're not claiming Vic is innocent. We're also not claiming Vic is guilty. We're not claiming the accusers as liars, but we're not claiming them as victims. Actually, um, one set of victims or accusers is definitely lying. That we'll talk on because some information has come out and has pretty much stated that they're definitely lying. So we're definitely gonna start that up. Before we start, I didn't get any water. Can you bring? All right, go on. Yeah, there's supposed to be a bot. There's supposed to look here. Tick tick tick. Is this that was in the fridge? Oh, you poured that out. Okay, so we'll use that. Come on. Thank you. So we're going to talk about the situation. Don't worry, guys. For those who are not involved in or not up to date on the situation, we're going to definitely bring it up. Oh, we got a donation during the stream. This is crazy. Alice, I really hate these women. They literally make us all look bad. Um, Funny that Alice says that. Thank you, Alice, for the donation. Um, that is a true statement. Um, there, this situation after what we went through is really making a lot of women look bad. So let's go over the tweet that I sent out. So I sent out a tweet earlier today, and it is really a bad situation because my tweet was, "This is wild." What happened? I said, "This is wild. Is this what really is going on? Par for the course. This happens all the time. Sadly, the real sexually harassed victims or rape victims suffer from those who lie for attention." And then I tag Vic and ask him if he's aware of this. Take a look. And in that is the video. That's the tweet that you guys are seeing with the video. It says SJW lies exposed. Now that's a different YouTube content, so I can't really show that person's YouTube content. But I'm gonna paraphrase it, and I'm gonna go over some stuff with Jagan, Piccolo's son, and Anna about the actual content. It looks like Piccolo is still muted. Jagan, can you contact Piccolo and ask him what's going on with his mic? I don't even know if he's even available. But yeah. But pretty much this is what I got. We looked at the video, and the video pretty much exposes that there was a Facebook think tank group, if you want to even call it that, where everyone wanted to your hair is all natural. You got to pull it down, honey. What? Pull on your hair from this side in the back. No, just pull it out. All right. So so we have a Jagan fan inside the room. What are you doing? So pretty much they exposed in this video. It's a 10-minute video. In fact, what I'll do for you guys in the YouTube chat is that I will literally give you guys the actual video here. Where is this? I'm going to actually get you the video where you guys can take a look at this. I know you see the link on the Twitter, but that's not going to be enough for you guys to be able to see. So let me grab this for you guys. I'm going to put it in the chat. This will get us all started and whatnot. All right. So for those who are looking, that's it. You can take a look in the chat room. I posted in the chat room for everybody, so you can see the actual link. For those who are interested in actually watching it, you'll find out what the actual the details on the accusations are about. So they pretty much have some of the things that they're accusing Vic of is that his hugging and his show of appreciation, so like kissing girls on the cheek, hugging them, he's being accused of them being too much or inappropriate. It's not hugging or kissing, it's more like groping and fondling or things of that nature. And that a lot of the this has been going on for a while. He's been accused of doing stuff like that, and people have complained about it, but no one has made any attempts to kind of like stop him from doing that. Oh. So because they haven't stopped him, it has gotten to a point now there's an outcry, and a couple of people have stepped forward about it. But in this group with this particular person who was one of the accusers, they're literally in there discussing, literally saying, why don't we Photoshop the
Photoshop.
Yeah, they said Photoshop. They want to Photoshop the actual picture to make it look like he's grabbing their breasts so that it cannot be mistaken. And I want to talk about that because I guess this is my interpretation of it. And it's an interpretation, not a fact. The girl was hugged by Vic. She felt uncomfortable about the hug.
She told me.
I don't know if she told him.
Just come on social media. Social media.
Well, she definitely came on social media and she's complaining about sexual harassment about it. But she didn't know, I guess she didn't want anyone to say that she's overreacting. So what she may be feeling legitimately harassed, but that wasn't his intention. His intention was to hug her and show appreciation. Those are his fans. She may have been offended by it, and in her attempt to cry out for how she felt, she needed to make sure that no one would question her accusation against him. So they wanted to modify the evidence that she was originally using, that she's accusing him of. But the evidence that she's accusing him of just simply looks like he's a fan hugging her. But they wanted to edit his hand from holding her stomach and her shoulder to the hand coming up to holding the breasts. And I'm letting you guys, that link I put in the chat is for you guys. You can see it for yourself. They literally are discussing how they can modify the image to push the agenda on him, and someone in the group, I guess, decided that this was just wrong and outed the group and put it out there, and someone put the video out there. So this does not necessarily mean Vic is innocent or guilty. This is because that's an individual issue. You have to, if we're looking at this objectively, it could simply mean he may be innocent in that lady accusing him, but there are many accusers accusing him of the very same thing. Now, from I've done my research with some people, and I was told that he has already been released from one film firm or whatever. I don't know who it was specifically, but he's already been released, and this is destroying his career. So let me bring, before we get to you, honey, let me bring Anna and Jagan in on this, so give us some time until Piccolo gets around. What are you guys' thoughts, and what do you know about this issue?
Anna, you can go ahead.
No.
No, Anna, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh-oh, okay. Anna, you can go on.
You can go first. It's okay. All right. So this is, for me anyway, I feel like this is a bit more of a straightforward situation, right? This is a guy who goes to conventions, assumably every year, assumably multiple times a year. Thousands of people view him, see him, interact with him. There's thousands of photos everywhere. I find it very hard to believe that any sort of conduct unbecoming of him could happen, and that no one would have already pre-existing, undoctored, not photoshopped evidence. Like, everyone has their phones out, everyone has their cameras out. You have people on his end taking photos of things. Like, it feels a little unbelievable that someone somewhere wouldn't have caught something if there were something to catch. That being said, people are within their right to feel a certain way. Like, if he hugged someone who didn't necessarily want to be hugged, or was okay with it at first, and maybe, felt for whatever reason that it was making them uncomfortable, it's okay for you to feel uncomfortable. It's not okay for you to conflate your feeling of discomfort into something that is potentially illegal for somebody else if that didn't happen. You being uncomfortable is not harassment. Those two things are not inclusive of each other. I think, because I used to go to a private school in high school, right? And we had a class with special needs kids, autistic, learning deficiencies, whatever. One of these kids was very huggy, like very physically affectionate, very hands-on. And the kids his age were uncomfortable by the fact that he always wanted hugs. The people who were older, and he was like 12. The people who were older understood this is just a thing that he does. This is just a social tick for him. He's a little socially awkward. As far as I can tell, Vic hasn't done anything wrong other than he's a little socially awkward and he's very hands-on huggy, which for him, since he's been doing this for God knows how long, most fans want hugs. Virtually all his fans want hugs. To him, this is a normal thing. This is natural. It's habit at this point. It's habitual to expect that someone's going to want a hug if they've gotten in line to see you, to get an autograph, to get a photo, whatever. But that doesn't extend to you being harassed.
And in my opinion, if you are harassed, or if you feel that way, because see, here's my thing. He's a public figure, and this is my issue. He's a public figure. I can't speak about Boma and the other voice actors that or whoever has been accusing him within from a professional standpoint. But as a supporter, fan of his, it's kind of if a girl goes to an event there's nothing that's going to happen to you at a public event if a star or something like that hugs you inappropriately and you look at them and you go, stop. What is he going to do? What can he do? So my question here is, if he's doing this inappropriately in public, why aren't, and according, because I did some type of background, according to many people, they're saying that this has been going on for a while. Okay, so if this has been going on for a while, close that door because I don't know why the dog's barking. All right, thank you. Sorry about the dog, guys. If this has been going on for a while, then the next convention you go to, if he is this person that everyone's accusing him of, then everyone would know that, okay, if he's going to be like this at the next convention, he does this, we're going to blow him up. If it's continuing, why didn't someone come there and record him? Catch him in the, like the Chris Hansen setups, How to Catch a Predator or whatever you call that show. You could just simply set him up. Why didn't anyone do this? And let him know, hey, listen, I don't think you don't even have to get a girl to do it. A guy could do it. A father could come and say, hey, listen, I don't know if you're aware of this, but some of your appreciation to your fans and your hugs is making them feel uncomfortable. They may not, say it because they're young and they look up to you, but some of them are complaining. Why wasn't letters of complaints written and sent to his manager, to his company? I don't understand it. This is one of the conversations I had in my Discord. If this was my daughter and she went to let me not put any other brand names out there. I don't want to, because it's a hypothetical and some people may take that way out of context. They go to a brand of some video game character that they like. They go there and the person hugs them or kisses them and they feel a certain way. My daughter's going to come and tell me. When my daughter comes and tells me what event you went to, you went to this, what you did. Now, as an adult, I can contact the event, find the person's manager, find the company, and write a letter. Hey, listen, your actor, voice actor, character, game designer, whatever, was hugging my daughter and she felt really uncomfortable. Right now, I don't appreciate that, and I'm making a formal complaint. I think you need to look into your whoever the person is, and you made it tighten the ship up, because next time it's a problem. And if I hear a complaint from somebody else, then I'm going to say, I reported this guy already. Then I see it happen again. So now I have a case because I built evidence. Because despite my daughter telling me that in this country, you're innocent till proven guilty. So just because my daughter says she felt uncomfortable doesn't mean he sexually harassed her. You can feel uncomfortable, but doesn't mean a person harasses you. You could just feel uncomfortable because it's your feelings. A person, if I go and I shake a lady's hand, hello, hi, or I hug her, and I'm just feeling jolly, as she feels, oh, I felt really uncomfortable because he hugged me. Well, I apologize if for you feeling uncomfortable, but I had no intentions on making you feel uncomfortable. I cannot control another person's feelings. I can't. But that doesn't mean I harass the person. And that's the gray line area. So you have to kind of give the benefit of the doubt. Something we don't do in society anymore. We live in a society where everyone seeks the wickedness of people. So no one is understanding. And if I have a daughter and she feels uncomfortable, I'm going to ask, well, did he touch you in an appropriate place? No, he just hugged me and I felt uncomfortable. I'm going to tell my daughter, well, honey, if that's going to be the case, then you're going to have to start letting people know not to hug you anymore, because that's making you feel a certain way. But if he did not touch you inappropriately, you don't really have a case. And that's my daughter, because I want to teach her to be responsible on both ends, that you can't, because the way you feel like that, that's the way you feel. So if I walk out in the street and a person looks at me a certain way and I feel offended by it, should the person be charged for a crime because I felt offended because the way they look at me? No, this is foolishness. This is what I'm talking about, going far right or far left. That's just too extreme. So I would give said voice actor the benefit of the doubt, but I will report the incident to the appropriate people in charge so that they could take measures to try to make sure that this doesn't happen again to anybody else's daughter. And then if it does happen, now you have basis for a claim because they got the first warning and then it happened again. So now we got a problem. But well, let me not say that because I don't know. I don't know if a formal complaint was ever made. And that is something I'm going to definitely look into. But based on the SJW Lies Exposed video, clearly some people are literally saying that, well, they got caught. I'm not even want to say they're saying, they're literally like, you guys got to see that video. It's crazy. You got to watch that video for yourself. If you watch the video, the guy, like they're literally plotting against him, talking about say this, say that, change this picture to that picture. It's crazy. I'm like, oh wow, they're really, well actually I'm not surprised by these type of things because the video game community is filled with this, along with the anime community. It is filled all the time. So if someone don't like you and they want to destroy you, they go for the girls and they tell the girls, do this, do that, lie, help me destroy this person. That's normal. And it's sad, like Alice's donation earlier, because women who are actually victims are the ones that truly get hurt in all of this. Because when
Nobody can't talk to anybody else.
exactly,
They feel like everybody, because it's a lie, I'm gonna tell her, and it's attention seeker.
because you have these false people out here ruining it for them. So let's get Jagan's take on this, Mr. Jagan. Your thoughts on the exposed video and Vic's case?
Okay, so situations like this are one of my fears that I have going into this new age that we're entering. You can say anything, and this is the problem I have when people make accusations when there's no proof around it. Let's look at the consequences of what's happened to this dude. Dude's been ostracized, talked down to on pretty much any internet forum that you can think of. Lost job opportunities. He's now being, blacklisted, blackballs from appearing at events. And the Broly movie was very successful. And as a voice actor, it's one of the industries where there's a small group of people who are in that field. There's not a whole lot. That's why if you look at the work history of your favorite voice actors, be it in animation or various other voiceover work, they're in a lot of different things. So if you have a favorite anime voice actor, he's probably, or she, has voice acted on many different series, hundreds even. So you're ruining this man's job opportunity. You're taking food out of his mouth and his family's mouth. And now that it's come out that people were plotting, people were using Photoshop, people were trying to set him up, where's the outrage? The funny thing is, we see this stuff come to light, and there's not enough outrage at people trying to set this man up versus the outrage when he was accused and not proved that he did anything.
Well, then, and that's sad because I didn't know that he's been removed from one of his acting positions already. This is a very tight, sticky situation. It really is, because it's like, if his career is over, then that pretty much puts him in a situation where he needs to sue, because it's over. No one's gonna want to hire him. So how is he gonna live now? So his only thing he can do is sue. And he has to sue somebody, and he really is going to have to make some type of bread off of them, because, like, oh man, this is nuts. Like, it's crazy. This video here, guys, like, I don't think you guys understand. Like, this video here is strictly bananas. Like, this video here is bananas, because, like, I'm thinking, oh, this is probably some well,
Let me
loose contextual. Yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
Let me address something because I see Cyanogen, I see you in the chat. So this is how I'm going to break this down really quick. So you're quoting me saying, "Where's the outrage?" Because there's a video. Just scroll down. Just scroll down and say, "Look, he was fired from both Funimation and I believe RT stands for Rooster Teeth. Unless he has his job back, there's not enough outrage." Go on.
Yeah, exactly. He will not. He's gonna lose his job. Well, yeah, well, no, he lost one of his job at Rooster Teeth. We don't know if he lost his job at Funimation. We don't know. But this is a situation where this is my take on it. And when we had a conversation about sexual harassment in our first discourse, right? It's just funny we're back at this topic again. One of my issues here is this, right? It is one thing to feel uncomfortable for getting a hug or a kiss. What people are not taking into consideration is that he is not at a standard work environment, like a professional work environment. He's an entertainer. And in an entertainer's workspace, their workspace is a little bit more flexible. He has fans, artists, athletes, entertainers hug and kiss their fans. They've been doing this since the dawning of the industry. Now, there's an outcry because he's doing it. And it's like, okay, I can understand in a corporate work environment, you're, hello, Sarah, hi, and you have to hug Sarah. That's not necessary. You could just say, hi, that's Sarah. Or you have to kiss Sarah. He has a bunch of fans, and this is the problem here, because this is a gray area. He has a lot of fans that jump on and hug him. What does he do? If that, like Anna said, if that's the norm for him, fans are jumping and hugging him, and guys are giving him broski pounds, and it's very physical in his interaction with his fans, then if that's what he does normally, and he does that normally, until someone brings it up to him and say, listen, in this particular social climate, that's no longer acceptable, then there really isn't a harassment case. It's really just you feeling, what's the word for this? Yeah, feeling offended a certain way. Because if you're not, for instance, right, let's forget about the fans. The Boomer voice actor. Why hasn't the Boomer voice actor literally filed a complaint to Funimation? Because they're in a professional environment. So why hasn't she said something that she could have spoke for all the women out there? She could have literally pressed an actual charge. So why she wait till the fans do it? That's crazy. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not defending it. It's just that I'm looking at this objectively. And it's kind of hard to kind of go against Vic, because if this was the normal for him, then when did it change? And when it changed, that's when it became an offense. And when it became an offense, was he informed? If he wasn't informed, then how can you blame him for something that was normal? That's like what people, Kevin Hart says something 9 years ago, which was the norm and acceptable, and no one informs him that's no longer acceptable. 10, 15 years later, oh, listen, we're going to punish you for something that we no longer find acceptable today. Those were the jokes back in the days. Those are the jokes we made. What are we going to do? Pull Richard Pryor out of his grave and charge Richard Pryor for all of the, what we will not call now, sexually orientated insults and things of that nature? Is that what we're going to do? Is that what we're going to do? Liam Neeson pulls up an issue about something that it's a conversation he's having about his movie called Revenge, and he's asked what is his thoughts about revenge. He tells revenge is no good. He gives an example, a real life example about something that happened in his life that he had to actually come to terms with, that revenge will take you into a dark place that will make you find out about yourself, and he had to seek help and he overcame it. Then he was ostracized for finding help to improve himself. Like madness. This is literally foolishness now. So it's like nobody is allowed to make a mistake. Nobody is allowed. The things you're doing today, things that are acceptable today, you can be punished for it 20 years from now. If 20 years from now it is no longer accepted, or it's no longer considered acceptable. So then everyone is going to be living on eggshells. And that's what I think what's happening to Vic. This is my personal opinion, right? It does not exonerate him, nor does it condemn him either. But I just think that maybe the guy just got used to this, because unless someone is claiming that he sexually groped them, and sadly, you're gonna need proof. You're gonna need proof. Your word is not good enough. You're gonna need proof.
So on the topic of like sexually grabbing, right?
Yes.
Because there was an accusation from a female coworker of his, the voice actress for Rosaria Vampire, can't remember her name, where she said that in passing one day, she admitted, we work in a very affectionate industry. A lot of people hug and cheek kiss and blah 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 blah. And in an interview she gave not too long ago, she said that he was running his fingers through her hair, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever, like people do that. And then he apparently grabbed her hair. According to her, he grabbed her hair at the base of her skull, pulled her towards him, and whispered some sexual comment in her ear. Now, can she tell you what that comment was? No, she can't tell you what that comment was. Just that it was supposedly sexual in nature. So accusations like that do exist, and apparently people are also calling him a pedophile now because he has interactions with kid fans, which is absurd to me. Like, geez. Some people.
Well, I put nothing past anything. So, an accusation is an accusation, but we need evidence. That's all I'm saying. I can't judge someone just because someone said you did it. That's not enough. That's not enough. You could be potentially punishing an innocent person because of mob mentality. It's not enough.
Yeah.
He could very well be a pedophile. He could very well be a sexual assault guy. Like,
Sexual assault. Guys.
whatever, a guy that assaults women sexually or people sexually. We don't know. But it's hard to pin that on someone if you have no evidence. And that's tomorrow, any one of my ex-girlfriends can come and say, Triforce sexually harassed me. Because I'm going to be like, okay, so where's your evidence? That's all I'm going to say. Oh, but we had sex. Of course, we were dating. Where's your evidence? Because if that's the case, then all men are guilty. That's literally what society's saying now. If you had any interaction with a woman, you're guilty of sexual harassment. If they so chose to tomorrow to just say, you sexually harassed me, you're done. What is the defense for someone who's innocent? How can that person defend themselves from?
It's such a weird standpoint, because if you look at humans as a species biologically, we are physically, chemically, psychologically, physiologically engineered to seek out physical, affectionate relationships, whether that's with a spouse, a sibling, a parent, a close friend. People are literally made to thrive off of compassionate physical interaction. We're not meant to be separated, lonely as a species. Like, we deteriorate under such conditions. We want hugs. We want to know that we can connect with somebody. Even people who are a little more asocial, maybe don't like hugs, they still get hugs, but from someone that they're comfortable with. So it's odd to me that you pretty much, set people on fire, or, nail them to the cross or something over a thing that everybody does and everybody is programmed to do in a natural environment.
So then, if that's the case, then a lot of social interaction rules are going to change because this is going to hurt the entire industry. A Discord member of mine's, his name is called Jarion, and he put out a tweet, and in the tweet it shows Brad, the guy who plays T'Challa in Black Panther. Um, no, Chad. I'm sorry, I call him Brad. My fault. Um, he does the Wakanda pose, and I think that's what guys need to start doing. No more hugs. Everyone has to keep 5 feet. The bros, they can get the pounds, the bro, the bro hug, the tap. Get in here. We did that type of stuff. But women just get this. Is that what we're gonna now do now?
Yes.
Is that what's gonna happen now? So now women are now going to be alienated from getting any type of interactions with any of their male counterpart fans because they have to secure themselves from potential sexual harassment accusations.
Sexual harassment accusations.
Chadwick Boseman, thank you, Cornelius.
Yeah.
And it's like that's a sad situation. It's sad that it has to get to that level because I think that's the only solution now. Because that protects the innocent, and it also puts the predators, the real predators out there, they can't help themselves because that's their nature. So even though they know those are rules, they're going to break the rules. That's it. They have no choice. They're going to break, and then when they break the rules, you catch them. But then the innocents will be spared. Someone said in the YouTube chat, the problem is that there's no defense for the innocent. Voice actors will not meet with females anymore.
The defense is supposed to be, if something happens, you file a report, you go to a court of law, you go to the police, you let the justice system decide. Now,
but that's the problem.
Citizens, now it's no one wants to go to the rule of law anymore. Now it's all the regular citizens are the judge, jury, and executioner. Nobody to stand in their way.
And that
to stop them from going overboard or making those false allegations.
And I'm not going
to so caught up in their feelings.
And I'm not going to sit there and get all teary-eyed for either victims, the innocent or the innocent on either side, the accused or the accuser. Both sides need to use the justice system. Someone offends you, you need to seek the authorities. Period. Do not wait. Go and seek the authorities. If you do not seek the authorities, you are literally losing your case. You're giving away your case. Do not wait until later. Why is a boomer lady complaining now? Didn't she just do the Broly movie with him? Like, what? So it's like, these things, like, these things leave a lot of questions. Yo! So you had mentioned that some lady said that he grabbed her by the back of her hair after running his hands through her hair and said something sexual to her. That very well might happen. There are some psycho scumbag guys out there who act like they're nice gentlemen, and behind closed doors, when they know the victim is not recording them, there's no one to witness it or whatever. Thank you, Gerard. And they take advantage at that point. So that's very well out there too. So Vic very well can be guilty of that. I'm not gonna put it past him. He's a man. So and when I mean man, I mean by human. He's human, so he's fallible. So to sit here and think that he's innocent, I'm not going for that because I don't know the man's whole case. However, this video here, where it's catching social justice warriors lying to exacerbate the situation, to destroy him, that they created a think tank room to plot, to Photoshop. This is damning. And it's not damning to them. It's damning to the actual true victims of sexual harassment and rape. Because it's like, if you're doing stuff like this, you make it even 10 times harder for real victims to be able to seek justice. Let me give my wife this. So, one more. No, I don't want you to. I'm going to ask you a question, and then you give me your thoughts on it. Because American culture is different.
Very.
From non-American culture in terms of men dealing with women, and want to give you a hypothetical situation, and I want you. Don't tell me what you would do. Tell me what the average Jamaican woman would do. Let's say you went to America. You met the voice actor for Luffy from One Piece, and you're talking to him. You're a fan. You watch the anime, and you go for a hug. Secretly, his back is towards the wall. You guys, let's take a picture. And he's taking a picture with you and your friends, and he grabs your butt. What would the average Jamaican woman do? Look at this.
You want the average decent American or
No,
Jamaican or the Jamaican to
Somebody told me.
or you want the Jamaican to say, hey boy.
No. What would the? Alright, well, I don't want you to like. It's up to you. I don't want.
I can tell you what either way that the decent and you have the don't care.
Both. Give them both.
Alright. Well, the decent. I mean, I really don't want to downplay my own goddamn country, but I'm just saying, the decent Jamaican, when that happens, they would confront the person directly and ask them, what you doing? Like, what are you doing? The other type of Jamaican woman or person would directly ask them, load them up, embarrass them, like, where I touch my father, where it cause a whole scene. It will not go silently. It will not end silently. So.
Could you give us for the fans' entertainment? Could you give us an example Can you give an example of that? Okay, so I'm some big star actor in America and whatever, let's go over the situation and just for the audience, give them an idea of how you would react.
I know what I react.
Person.
That decent get and me, 2 or 3 different people, and I'm more than likely the middle one.
You're the middle one. Okay, alright, so hey man, so you liked your event?
Yeah.
Hey, this looks like a real nice shirt. So you're gonna come by. We have an after party.
Don't touch me again. What yes or no?
Well, I'm sorry about that. But you're looking real,
No.
Oh, okay.
Touch me again, that's somebody else.
Oh, okay. So what?
Yeah, we will.
Guys,
in 6
I
fear.
was gonna try to grab the back of her hair, like, what you saying? Just to see
That
what
part.
But I don't want to get punched in the face, so that's why I'm like.
You have the decent, you have get
my
it
will
me.
actually punch me on in my face. I'm like, I'm just playing. But so yeah, we'll kind of ignore that. But that's the difference, and this goes back to our original. No, you can keep it okay. I talk loud enough.
No.
This goes back to our original stream that we had. Check the feed, yeah.
Exactly.
Your Trap Lord. What's going on, Trap? But women, ladies, you have to assert yourself and protect yourself.
Be direct.
You cannot look.
Oh, I was scared. I was there is that. There is time for that, but you can't expect if there's no other proof and you basically can't do anything else.
Yeah.
At least be direct to
don't
the person.
wait.
5
Wait
months
for somebody
before
else to,
after.
save you.
Oh no.
Exactly. It's hard to help. It is hard to help the actual victims. You have to be courageous. You have to help.
For yourself,
Yeah,
do
for
it
yourself.
for.
Thank you. You have to help yourself for people to help you. If you don't help yourself, it's harder for people to help you.
Try first, man. Tell her if that reads. I am so sorry. I am
No.
so sorry
If we went to
for the scene.
if we went to America and
not be
some
nice.
guy touched you, there is no 2 months.
No.
There is no 2 days.
I'm not remember.
There's
I'm
no
gonna do it right
1
now.
hour. There's no nothing. That happens. I come and you go, don't touch me. I don't care. That could be the president of Sony. I'm leaning him. He's getting lean straight off the screen. Lean right there, like, grah. What are you doing? Straight up. I'm not waiting for no police officers. I'm leaning him. Just
Yeah,
straight
we learn
sleeping.
enough not to rely upon police
I'm not waiting for no
here
police
or there.
officers. I catch my wife going, what? What? You getting? I'm putting you to sleep. I'm leaning you straight on some sucker punch. It's gonna be like, hey, shorty, just lean him straight out of nowhere, off the screen, just like that, straight leaning him. I'm not waiting. Like, and that's another problem. Like the guys out there, like that Gillette commercial. Dudes need to stand up. Like, you mean to tell me this happens and a girl doesn't say this to nobody? Not a brother, not a male friend, not
There's
a father,
no
no
male
police,
person.
no male person. The only time you feel safe in speaking about
It's
this
going on
is on
social
social media. What? So and this is where the objectiveness comes from, because it's like, let's say Vic is guilty. How can warriors of justice bring him to justice? It's hard, very difficult. So, ladies, y'all have to find the courage.
Yeah.
If you don't find the courage, you make it hard for us to get these guys. We can't hit them with the Gillette. We can't be the best the man can get, because we can't do anything, because we don't have no proof. And I would like to live in a world where you're innocent until proven guilty.
Go
You're
to a
not
man that
guilty
you
until you're
trust.
proven innocent. Because I would hate to have a son, and then you see what these girls are doing to him in this particular video here. Some girl do that to my son, because then we got a problem, because Mom Dukes, or if she has a sister, is running up on these chicks. Straight up, running up on these. There won't be no police waiting, no nothing. Like, you lying on my brother? Leave. Straight up, like, you're getting linked. Like, and that's the problem. The word here is lack of accountability. We live in a different age. That's why a lot of people say, "Oh, this is going to affect the world." No, this just affects the United States.
Yeah, no one else
This
has this issue.
this doesn't happen outside of the U.S. Outside of the U.S., there's a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment where women will deal with you, and if a woman can't deal with you,
Call her friend then.
the men, because the men like to release their aggression. They're
Yeah.
looking for a reason. Like Liam Neeson said when he found out that some black guy had raped his friend, he was like, "I'm going out looking for dudes." When I heard that from Liam Neeson, I was like, "Oh, that's an everyday
It's
guy."
it's a human, but I have them thoughts.
That's every day. Like, society and TV makes it up like, "Oh my God, that's like whatever." Like, stop it. That's every day in America. And black guys are like that in America. Chinese guys like that in America. White people like that in America. Down here, Jamaica, Latin America, Africa, Europe. That everyone is like that. That's TV trying to water it down to a politically correct, socially civilized environment where everybody is like, we have to really live like we're not animals anymore. No. So, like, there's an accountability to this. Let me grab this. I want to get Jagan and Anna's last thoughts on this. So, you guys' thoughts on the accountability for both parties, the accused and the innocent, right, and the victims and the innocent. What do the innocent on both sides? If Vic is innocent, what does he need to do more to help himself? If the victims are innocent and Vic did do the crime, what do they need to do more? And we'll close on that. We'll start with you, Anna.
If Vic is innocent in this case, the only thing he can do, I think at this point, it would be best to get a lawyer to help defend himself, because these accusations aren't going away, clearly. And to just be more socially aware that, hey, some people, like, while this is a norm for you and this is a natural thing that most people do, some people might not be comfortable with this sort of physical interaction.
Mm-hmm.
If this is true and Vic did do these things that he's being accused of, even some of the more outrageous things, you don't tweet about it, you don't make Facebook posts, like, you go to the authorities. Like, social media justice is not justice. It's just anger and rage, and a lot of things can be misconstrued. And when you start involving all these outside people, what's true and what's not gets muddier and muddier. Because then anyone can just jump in and say, oh, yeah, not to put a pun on this, but me too. Like, oh, yeah. But a lot of these people aren't. They just want to feel included. They just, it's mob mentality and they want to get in on the feels. The thing that I want to address here right now is some people saying that he's had like done something pedophilic or whatever. Making false accusations, if you do that, you should be in prison. Like, if you make a false accusation and it comes to light that you've done it, or you're doing it, you should be in prison, because you do ruin people's lives with that sort of thing. And it's not funny, and it's not a game, and it's just as harmful as if this was a real accusation and this person did do it. It's just as harmful. And I take these kinds of situations with these kinds of accusations being made, I take this a little personally, for a variety of reasons. Just gonna throw this out there, gonna shatter the glass ceiling, some Anna truthness right now. When I was 7, my mother remarried, okay? And she remarried this man who was a pedophile, okay? And he molested my sister and I. He was one of the honorable pedophiles who he turned himself in. We as kids didn't have to have the courage or be the adults and have to speak up, because he just did it himself. He knew what he was, he knew what was wrong. He went and turned himself in and pled guilty and went to prison for 10 years. And that was that.
So he sought help on top of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did.
All right. Well, he's lucky because
So
if he were my daughter, he wouldn't have to go to prison. I'd release him
Yeah.
from the prison that he's in, which is called life.
I've
But
had
go on.
encounters just like that, I think 10 times in my life. And last year in February, I was raped by someone that I'd been friends with for a while. Someone I knew, someone I trusted. So if that thing happens to you and you don't report it, you are doing a disservice to all the other people who could be harmed hereafter. And if that thing didn't happen to you and you make a false accusation, you're actually scum, because then you make it 10 times harder for everybody else who is a real victim to be listened to. Because when accusations are made, whether they're real or not, if they're real, other victims come out of the woodwork to support you. If they're fake, all these people come out of the woodwork to vilify you, but then they also vilify real victims who get caught in the crossfire. And then the people who actually have problems, who need help, stop seeking help, because they look at you as an example of why the legal system doesn't work, or why nobody wants to listen to them, because you ruined their chances.
Well,
So don't wait. If something happens, don't wait for somebody else to seek justice on your behalf. Just do it.
seek
And if
your
something
own
didn't
justice.
happen, don't be an asshole and make something up.
Something of a headcanon statistic, which is not too far from the truth. I want to put out there: the average girl that a guy is interacted with, 9 times out of 10 has been sexually harassed or raped, and that means we have a lot of women walking around with past trauma, and they're strong because they can accept that and don't let it destroy them and move on. Especially in the outside of America, rape, right? In the context of like how it happens in the U.S., young girls being statutory rape, straight force rape, happens normally. But the difference with the women outside of America is that when, as a man, you do that, you get clapped. See, that's the difference. In America, it happens and the men get away with it. And you have to wait through the Justice Department to deal with it. There is a natural justice out here that still exists. So when men try to rape women out here, if the woman doesn't clap you, which is what normally happens, 9 times out of 10, the woman is the one who kills you. The men will kill you or the police. Jail is if you're lucky. Yes, so as she would say. So that's the nature out here, and we have to recognize this nature for what it actually is, and stop trying to PC everything. You can't PC the negative behaviors of human beings. Murderers, war, rapists, people enslaved. You can't politically correct those things. There is no those things. Those things have to be. They can only be met by justice, swiftly. That's it. But I don't want to hold this up too much. Jagan, chime in on your last words about this. The innocent of the accused and the innocent of the accuser.
I'm just gonna say this because a lot of the points have already been said, and I don't want to echo. Just to put it out there, regardless of any situation, if you see something, say something, because you not saying something or speaking up could end up being very bad for somebody else.
Is that the slogan they use for terrorism?
I don't know, but
the slogan works. But hold on, Jagan, before you finish what you're saying, Sayajin says, don't bash women who have a fear regarding reporting their trauma. No one here is bashing women for their fear.
It's completely understandable. Trust me.
We're trying to encourage them.
It is completely understandable for you to be afraid. At the same time,
we're encouraging you.
There is a point in which you need to get over your feelings.
We're trying to.
There's going to be more people after you.
We're trying to encourage women who are in this fear of trauma to overcome their fear. Help us. Help.
Sit down on it and expect somebody else to help you.
Exactly. Help us help you seek justice. What else? There is no other way for us to say this but straightforward and bluntly. If you're not going to manifest the courage for to help yourself, then there's very little we can do for you. If you take that as your feelings getting hurt,
sorry.
Oh well. Woman up. Go back, Jagan.
Yeah. No, hold on. Sayajin says, you all said that they're the problem behind other people not believing victims, that they're making it harder to catch the bad guys. That's not.
No, that's not what. Whoa. No one.
Because I said that. What I said, Sayajin, is that people who make false accusations make it harder for actual victims.
Exactly.
Because actual victims get lumped in as collateral damage with the people who lie. And everyone says, oh, but why would someone lie? I don't know. Why would someone fly a plane into the Twin Towers? Why would someone murder a child? Why does anybody do anything? Because they can. They don't need a reason. They don't need your permission. They do it because they want to. And that's literally it.
What I don't understand is why when topics like this come up, people somehow get mixed. They mix the message being stated here. I don't understand it. It's always, every time a situation like this comes up and we try to look at this situation objectively, the first thing people come up is you're attacking the victim. So if we don't automatically believe the accuser, we're attacking the victim, because that's what it sounds like. Because nowhere did we say anything about the legitimate victims. We're talking about the fake ones. Literally, there's a video exposing people who are literally setting up Vic. Literally. And we're like, they're making it harder for the real victim. So how did you mix that up? I'm lost here. Explain that one to me. How did you mix that up? How did you get that mixed up? You didn't. What you want to do is you want to keep a narrative to keep it off the real point, so that we can't come to an actual conclusion to try to actually rectify the situation, because no one wants to actually fix the problem. Everyone wants it to be the way it is so that everyone can just start blaming anyone and accusing anyone. You don't want to really fix the problem. Someone stated here in the YouTube chat earlier, women fought so hard to get equal rights, but don't even use the justice system with the same equal rights as men. Someone does something to us, men are going to stand up for ourselves, and we're going to report people, or we'll take the justice into our own hands, or we're going to report to the authorities. So women are not exempt from that. Women have equal rights just like men. Use it. I'm sorry, Jagan, finish.
No, that's pretty much it. Another thing I would say is, and similar to the first discourse, is just be mindful of the climate that you're in, and be mindful how you interact with the opposite gender or same gender, I guess, depending on how you swing, for both men and women, because stuff that may have been okay in even your culture, you might not even be from America, but speaking, if this happens in America, stuff that may even be cool in your culture may not fly over here, or something that was cool maybe 10 years ago will not fly today. So just kind of be mindful and educate yourself, and like a boxer, protect yourself at all times.
Okay, thank you, Jagan, and thank you, Anna. Piccolo-san was off on this one. I don't know what happened. He must have stepped away. But we'll close on this note. Sayajin says, you're saying you're talking about false reporters, but how would you know if a legit victim is telling the truth if you're trying to maintain objectivity?
You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't. That's why you make them take it to the authorities.
Which is, thank you, we're encouraging them.
Whether someone is guilty or innocent or not, or any combination they're in, should not be up to the general public, because the general public has its biases and its mob mentality and whatever else. You take it to the people whose literal job it is to try and figure out what the truth is, okay? Because I don't have a fingerprint duster or a machine to test DNA or an ultraviolet light to test for blood or semen or I don't have any of that shit. So don't come to me asking me, well, are they innocent or guilty or what the truth is? Go have the person who's making the accusation go to the people whose job it is to collect that evidence to decipher the truth. Does that always work? No. There are guilty people who walk free. There are innocent people who go to jail, and that is the risk of the legal system. But the legal system is there for the specific reason to hold people accountable. And if you don't use it, why the hell did we bother voting to create it, or going through the whole mess of making it in the first place? If you're not going to use it, you might as well just never say anything and just let everybody do whatever the hell they want, because that's pretty much the equivalent of you using Twitter as your legal system.
There's a lot of people trying to be Donald Trump out here. All right, on that note, thank you guys for joining us on the show. You guys can leave your comments, share this video, get other people's thoughts on this. I would hope that this video is used to empower the real victims out there to stop allowing these predators out here from doing stuff to you. Stand up for yourself, report it to a friend, report it to your father, report it to the authorities, or, well, I wouldn't encourage you ladies out there to take it into your own hands, but my women will take it in. My daughter, my wife, they take it into their own.
Have fun on it.
So, but anyway, on that note, I'll see you guys at the next discourse. Thank you guys for joining us. See you later.